All right, friends, we are back for your weekly podcast show. This is episode number 676 of Location Weekly. And I'm still here in Italy this week with our good friend and co-president, Karsten. How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, actually, it's quite good. So start working these days. So after having our annual board meeting here in Italy, make some strategic decisions. So everything is fine, going well, so good. So you're heading home tomorrow. And things getting back to kind of normal. Less traveling over the summer, but preparation for the marathon in the autumn is already set. So our annual conference in Atlanta is upcoming. We have our De Mexico activities, best retail cases. So all these things are coming up very quickly. It's like now we're in the rush. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer. But the break was good, and actually also good to be with you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to be here. Thank you for hosting us here again this year. It's been a good discussion about where we're going the next number of months into the new year. I think that there's a lot that we can accomplish in the next little while, and we have 4 stories per usual this week that we want to discuss. So I'll let you kick it off.
Absolutely. So electronic shelf labels. So we have discussed it a lot of times. So when they came out, it was like, oh, where's the power coming from? Do I have the data? What about the micro locations? What about the stores and the individual pricing? There was fear from the one side of the consumer end, and on the other side there was non-preparation in terms of data quality and the accessibility to that data streams. These things should be solved by now, and Walmart is announcing that he will roll out electronic shelf labels all over 2,300 stores by 2026. They are coming from our old friends from, what is that? Vusion, yeah. So it's SAL Imagotech, now it's Vusion. So those guys doing very well. So one of the first to establish for a good price tag this electronic shelf labels. And for us in the LBMA space, electronic shelf labels is crucial because they're forcing grocery stores and retailers into the position that they have the accurate price on site. And also have it digital available, and it's still sometimes not good. And secondly, a lot of those electronic shelf labels also have the functionality to track the micro location with some other sensors they have. It's like infrared or beacons or whatever is built in NFC tags. So this is good for having the correct information on this micro location on a shelf level available for us from the location-based marketing point of view. And I'm really looking forward to how they will roll it out. I know the discussions at the beginning, so they are too expensive, and also we don't have the data available. And then what's the risk from the consumer side that this dynamic pricing is taking place? And we have markets like UK where you have dynamic pricing since decades now. So if you have a loyalty card or a member card, you have a different price than a regular customer. So it's more liberal in the markets, but especially in central Germany, central Europe, it was always a question: how often are they allowed to change the prices, and are they changing the prices in terms of my behavior at the end of the day? So overall good, but let's see. It's 2,300 stores out of 10,000, so it's 20% of their stores that will do with that. And let's see what kind of store that will be. The supermarket, the superstores, or the smaller ones. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, usually when you see these rollouts, like from others that we've seen so far, I think it's coming primarily in the grocery sector. I think part of that is that, especially when you're talking about fruit, vegetables, these kind of produce types of things. The electronic shelf labels give you this ability to do dynamic pricing. If the food's going bad because it's 2 days old or whatever, you can reduce the prices. In real time. You don't have to change the stickers and all this kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of advantages there, and grocery makes a ton of sense. So it's a start. They say this 2,000 stores will take them a couple of years to get that far.
Yeah, and also they have, I think, 120,000 articles on stock or listed at Walmart, the ecosystem of Walmart. So having 120,000 different prices and locations mixed together, that's a lot of data you have to fulfill and just keep updated. Also, but what you said, it's right. So these price reduction things, fashion, for example. So it's very common that you have the season write-off of this thing. So season sales, for example. But there are still products in the season sell you can easily sell for the regular price. You have to know where it is, and if you have a price tag for that, you can find also the items. So the combination of an electronic shelf label or an electronic label on a fashion or on an item itself, it's a different game and also very valuable for the retailer, because then they can easily figure out which price they want to reuse and which one not. Anyhow, so good step in the right direction. It's coming.
I think that's good. So just jumping to our next story now, and before I do that, I should also just take a moment to say, okay, we are recording today. It's July 1st for our friends at home in Canada. This is Canada Day, so happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day, absolutely.
To all the folks there. I'm missing a little bit of the celebration tonight and fireworks and all of that, but. Happy to be here. So jump to our second story now. So there's an agency called New York-based called Timbres, Tombras, and they were given this task to sort of work with Google's Gemini AI platform and to come up with some sort of they called it the impossible ad campaign. To kind of do something unique and different using this generative AI platform that's out there. And what they did was, I think, rather interesting. So they've created 6,000 different hyper-local ads using the Gemini AI platform for Pods. So Pods is this brand with these sort of moving trucks, these moving trucks with billboards on the side of the trucks. And so, going around New York City, they were able to create 6,000 different ads that were localized to where these trucks were driving, at different times of day and based on weather and based on all these different dynamic factors, traffic and so on. So, they could, easily say, okay, the truck is right now on this street in this neighborhood and the weather's like this and so on and so forth, and then have the messaging on the truck be, hi everyone on, James Street or, whatever street right now. Hope you're liking the heat, why don't you grab a drink at, so and so. Like this type of sort of hyper-local contextual advertising, 6,000 different ads, all powered by this sort of generative AI platform from Google. So I think it was a unique way to do that. And I guess, for me, it's interesting because this is so much easier to do now with this type of technology. In the very, very early days of the LBMA, I'm talking like around 2011-ish, I'm going to say. Maybe early 2012 it might have been. But we actually, as the LBMA, did an experiment in New York City with the New York, the MTA, the transit authority there in New York. And we took a bunch of their buses, just a couple of buses that had screens on the side of the buses, and we changed the ads on those screens based on pulling data from Foursquare at the time of people who were at the intersection, and then tried to change an ad to kind of meet the profile of these individuals that, as a group, not one-to-one, but as a group, people who are there. And this is a kind of what's happening here now, but on a much bigger scale, much easier to do with this, generative AI technology than, something that we cobbled together with a lot of work in those days. So
absolutely. So it's just amazing what the technology allows us in solving the problems we had, and this is always the content part of the story. It was never the creative side, it was never the ideas and technology, it was always the missing content for what we are going to do and what we share. And so using AI to make it happen is great. And also this moving trucks and the advertising itself is a very powerful tool in that massive city. Just always great to see them around there. And if it's more contextual and more about our behavior, our needs, or what we want to drive if it comes to daily promotions for lunch menus or something like that. It makes a ton of sense now, and we see it more and more. This is this local advertising, which is now affordable also for local stores and also smaller businesses. So what you see now, it's just a shift from this big agency spending the multi-million dollars into various media channels into, all right, the store on the local store, family owned, is now able to get a campaign running for a good amount of money which they can afford, and they can measure the return on invest directly by just the store traffic and see how many people are coming. But it's bringing them together. It's a huge new market, which was totally gone because it's the old newspaper market, you know.
Yeah.
This is this micro advertisement these stores did, and then they tried Google. It never worked for them as it should. It was like this, oh yeah, I'm listed on Google, and how many people came to you because you have this Google advertisement? Always the question.
Yeah.
But now with this new media formats like connected TV and also streaming platforms, all of this, it allows just to get deeper involved. Yeah, I love it.
Great. Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's go to our third story then.
Absolutely, back to Germany. So a company called TapTap. It's an area-based omni-channel marketing platform, very strong in the markets of Spain, Italy, UK, Latin, and Africa. Is now coming into Europe. So they teamed up with League M, which is one of the largest independent marketing specialists based in Germany, and they're teaming up for making location and omni-channel marketing more effective. So it's more or less a link from what we said before, because getting this location ads available through the different channels makes a ton of sense. And therefore, this partnership can really help TapTap to go into the German market. So they claim themselves as one of the leaders, so they want to enter the market, and they see Germany still strong. And for those who watched the last episode, I'm a bit more skeptical about the advertising industry in Central Europe right now. But maybe the numbers in mobile and in location advertising is different. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think that TapTap's been around for quite some time. You know, obviously they've been successful in the markets that they were already in. I think that, if you're looking to come into Europe, or you're looking to go into new markets, sometimes in today's economic climate and so on, it's better to find a partner who's well established, like League M, and just say, look, you guys have the connections, you have the clients, you have the networks. Why don't you help us just bring this technology to your existing client base, right? Yeah. Because that's a lot easier than saying we're going to open an office and we're going to hire people we don't know and kind of grow from that point of view. So, I don't think, for me, there's nothing technology-wise that's innovative here. TapTap's proven themselves in other markets, and now it's just, okay, can we bring this to Europe and be successful there? And I think they have a better chance of being successful in a partnership. Yeah. Reseller type of arrangement like this, then they would. We
see that more and more in our industry. So these reseller and partnership programs are growing for the reasons you already mentioned. And yes, the cost of hiring people and opening an office and make it all tax and legal proofed is dramatic. So if you can make it with a partnership, and the companies are more open and more flexible as they were before. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And even in the work that we both do independently from the LBMA with our other companies in Pharmony and Ground Level, speaking from myself, like we have 4 or 5 reseller partners in different markets, that we work with. It's a lot easier.
It's interesting to see. So we set up our partner program for Pharmony, and to see what kind of interesting bunch of partners you collect as technology providers, their hardware providers, solution providers, and also software providers. So bringing that all together, helping us to expand in new markets is key. And we all struggling with the same questions because we don't have the human power to fulfill that, neither in money and also finding people who are willing to do the job is also still a big topic for us all over the world. And so So this collaboration thing in B2B is coming more and more. And I think it's also a shift in how the management acts. In the old days, it was more like, I want to own this, I want to have the full control over everything. We now say, okay, we know that our technology is very fast moving, and maybe it's worth the next 5 years to use it, and then something else pops up. So why should I spend 2 years to evaluate the market, to bring the technology or the solution into the market? Because then the window is maybe closing. Yeah. So it's a learning curve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But good to see companies in Germany.
Good to see, yeah. We'll have to check in with Lee Gem and see what they're up to.
Still with the Italian coffee, you guys. Sorry, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've had a few of those today. All right, so final story now. So we're going to jump back across to Canada, to Toronto, where Google Canada is based. And they made an announcement recently that for the Android user base in Canada, they have updated their emergency services capabilities, the E911 capabilities there. I have to say, I'm an iPhone user, I'm an Apple ecosystem person. So when I read this story, I was like, what do you mean? Why don't you haven't had this all along? Like, this is surprising to me that it's only now 2024 that they're getting this kind of emergency services capabilities in Canada on Android. So, but anyhow, that being said, I think that the whole system in North America is going through an overhaul right now. The mobile operators are all upgrading their networks. The value of location services and data cannot be more useful than in this area, right? Obviously, if you're talking about saving lives, if you're talking about people who are in emergency situations, being able to pinpoint where they are by their location data, I think is, obviously way more efficient than the ways we traditionally did it of, you're on the phone with the operator at the police and they're like, where are you? And maybe you don't know, maybe you're struggling to be conscious or something, and you don't know where you are, or and they're asking you to say, okay, well, what do you see near you? What landmarks are there? Like, this is not a great way to figure out where somebody is to get services there faster, right? And so, obviously the combination of GPS and Wi-Fi and other signals from the phone, in this case in an Android context, being able to share it in real time, I think is critical. Obviously on Apple we had this already. But good to see that we have that, and maybe it's Canada Day today, right? So often people are out celebrating, they're partying, there's fireworks, there's accidents that happen, so for the Android people who are partying today, celebrating Canada Day, you've got a new thing to help you out. So there you go.
Absolutely, it's crucial, and as you said, it's about upgrading the networks and the capabilities of the networks. It's not about the phone. So you don't have to forget that you have a couple of hundred manufacturers on Android, and Apple, you have just one. So there's one company driving all the Apple phones and all the services, and you have hundreds of other companies driving and using Android platform to fulfill services. But this is one side of the story, which is kind of your own responsibility and your own health. And risk management you have to do in life. If you do extreme sports or hiking or doing kayaking without a protection against bears in the north, that's dangerous. So you have to protect and things yourself. But on the other hand, the capabilities of the network are now much more better to identify the device and ask for the specific information out of that. And so highly welcome that Google is also just trying to bring that more in a standard way. But it's very hard because a lot of companies who are using Android are making their own version of Android. And it's kind of the business model. It's kind of the business model from Google, which is surprisingly, compared to other software companies, that they're so open. So I don't know if some of you guys are using Samsung phones, and actually I'm a Samsung phone guy. So I left, I'm still using both, but I left for my private life iPhone, I guess, in iPhone 5. So the iPhone 5 was my last private iPhone I had, and since that I have a Google or Android-driven phone. But having this the Samsung ecosystem in front of you compared to Apple, you have this functionality. You have just like, okay, I want to share my location immediately to 9/11, whatever, just click on that. So those guys solved it. It's not like they didn't do it. It's like this 160 whatever companies are using Android and doing something with that.
Yeah. So, but now it's kind of unified.
Exactly. So great upgrade here, and hope saves lives.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. So that's our show for this week. You've been listening, watching episode number 676 of Location Weekly. We thank you as always for your time. If you have story ideas, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to get involved in the LBMA, become
what about the TapTap guys?
A part of our, our network. TapTap, yes.
Yeah,
let's talk to TapTap. Let's talk to Legem. Let's talk to these people. Come on, guys, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and get you more involved in what we're doing on the podcasts, on our meetups and events and conferences and networking things that we have going on and media coverage. So thanks.
Amazing show. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Canada Day.
Canada Day. Bye.